Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses, and today you join me on a journey, and I initially want to start with an annoying factor on this bike, but it's not the bike's fault. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. So, what is that annoying factor? Well, whoever had this bike last has either got unusually weird or massive feet, or is just an idiot. Simply because the gear lever is so high, I have to take my foot completely off the peg to change gear up and down. Honestly, it's awful. And I know it's a quick adjustment, but I've already left and I'm already layered up, and I'm going to have to just grin and bear it. I can't be bothered to go back and do it. So yes, it's just, I mean, if I just lift my foot, I don't even touch the bottom of the gear lever. They've got it so high, it's ridiculous. It's on a spline, so as I say, it's adjustable, and I can do that very easily. I may well stop at a bike shop shortly and adjust it, because I don't know how annoying it's going to get. I might get used to it, but at the moment it isn't. So anyway, what am I on? What am I doing? Where am I going? Well, I'm on a bike that's been out for a while, to be honest, but it's the 2023 Voge DSX650. Now, as I say, it's been out for a while. There are various reviews on it. I'm taking it on a longer journey to see how it fares as far as practicality, usability, comfortability, and every other ability factors with this bike. Don't be deceived by the sun. It is sunny, but it is awful. It's cold, which is why I'm layered up. I've got the waterproof layer and the insulated layer on my Lightning Storm jacket. My own brand, pointless link, but if you like to have a look at them, have a look in the link in the description below. I've got my trousers on and my adventure style boots. But yeah, so now initially this bike is going to confuse you, and that is because it's using technology that is tried and tested but isn't really seen in a modern bike. And what I mean by that is it's a 650cc single cylinder. It's actually a 652cc single cylinder, double overhead cam, 4-valve fuel injection engine, liquid cooled of course. But it derives from the old 2007/2009 BMW. I shall go through the specifications in a moment, but yeah, so I'm on a bike that you don't really see very often. And one thing with that is that it's only got 5 gears. I don't have 6 gears. Now we'll see how that fares in a moment and whether that's going to be an issue. But yeah, so we're on a 5-speed 2023 Adventure 650 with a single cylinder engine. So it's a nice thumpy engine. Oh, it's got some torque. It's got enough pickup. Gets up to speed. So they seem to have the gearing done pretty well. So that's quite pleasing. Seems very stable. It is rather windy today. There's a rainbow over there, and that worries me that it's going to rain. I don't like rain. I might go a different way. So let me run through those specifications. Now, as you know, Lonsin have been making engines for BMW since 2007. So, as I say, the engine in this is from the, or based on, the 2007 to 2009-ish BMW GS650. So it's a 652cc, 4-valve double overhead cam, single cylinder fuel injection, liquid cooled, as I said, and it develops 47 brake horsepower, making it A2 compatible, and 44 pounds for the torque. Now, the old BMW engine made the same torque at 50 horsepower, so Lonsin have either hindered this a tad to make it A2 compatible, or they've lied about how much power it makes. Top speed is quite low on paper, 100 miles an hour, but 70 is the UK limit, so as long as it cruises well at that, you're fine, but we'll find that out shortly. As I said, 5-speed box, so it's sort of showing its heritage there, but again, we'll see if that's an issue when I get some proper miles on a dual carriageway. Weight-wise is 190 kilos, so it's about right for the bike. At the moment, 3 alloy boxes do come with it, although they haven't sent them with this bike, so I don't have them to see whether it makes any difference on the way the bike rides. As per usual, according to the weather forecast, it's supposed to be a little bit cloudy, mostly sunny, but no rain. However, it's raining. Honestly, I really don't know why weather people have a job. I really don't. It doesn't matter what charts they look at, what computer systems they look at. Where are you going? Want to get a taxi, dear? Or whether they're skilled, done years of training. I stand by my statement where all you need to do is in the morning look outside, see which direction the wind is blowing, and then ring that country and ask them what their weather's like, and you'll get a more accurate reading than you would by reading stupid charts, I'm sure, because this is their version of no rain. Well, I couldn't last more than 5 miles, unfortunately. No, just couldn't do it. I had to stop in at Superbike Warehouse and see Jamie, who was there, and borrowed a 10mm socket, simply because I just could not. Oh, so much better. Oh yes. Oh, that changes gear much better now, like a proper bike. I said, I don't know who had this before, but that was awful. I can ride it properly now. That's better. Yes, changing gear on corners is never good, but I just want to keep testing it up and down, make sure it's okay. Happy with that. Good. Right, so back on the journey, and since I've been in there, the rain has gone and the sun's come out, so happy days. Right then, let's talk a bit more about how this bike is riding. Well, as I say, it actually pulls away quite nicely. I'm quite pleased with that. Oh, my head vents are open. Oh, it's getting a cold head. So yeah, I like the way it rides. It feels quite planted, to be fair. It doesn't feel bad on the road at all. It is a blustery day, as I say, and I'm not really feeling it. I've got no problem with the riding position. Initially, when I got on it, I thought, oh, I'm quite far forward. But you soon get used to that. I mean, it's not a bad position to be in at all. Yes, you are a little bit further forward. And at first, I thought, well, that's going to affect my knees or my legs. But at the moment, it's all good. It's comfortable, I'll say that. The seat is very comfortable. Again, after many miles, we'll see how that fares, but at the moment, yeah, pretty pleased with that. And I also don't like that big grey cloud up ahead. Go away, rain. We don't like you. I do have to report, unfortunately, when the sun hits that screen, you can't see anything, and I mean nothing. Get in the way of it, you can see fine. When it's in the sun, not a sausage. So maybe some kind of shade would have been better, or a reverse LCD screen. I wonder if it's got that in the options. Let's have a look, see what I've got here. I don't know what that does. Trip. Let's reset the trip, shall we? Hello. You get there even quicker if you... why did you brake, mate? What an idiot. Oh, just have a look. You brake and cause me to brake in an emergency. What a bell end. So I've reset the tripometer and we'll see, and I have done about 7 miles already. But yeah, we'll see how this fuel lasts as well. I'm going to need fuel soon by the looks of it. This will be quite a good test. I'm now going down a 60-mile-an-hour road with flat fields either side, so I'm assuming there's going to be either some kind of headwind or crosswind. We'll see whether that affects the way the bike sits. I can already feel the wind blasting me. Switch gears look quite generic. They're nothing special, but they don't seem loose or anything like that. Nothing seems sort of badly made, I will say that. Oh, a lovely road surface. Switchable ABS, which is good, so if you do want to take it off-road, you can. So I'm doing 60 in 5th gear and I'm doing 3,500 RPM. That's not bad actually, they've geared it pretty well, so you do only need the 5 gears. We'll see how that affects the fuel. I'm sure a 6th gear would be better, but if they're using that old BMW technology, they'll get what they're given, I guess. The screen seems to be doing a decent enough job. I've got no buffeting on my chest, tiny bit around the top of my head, but as I say, it is a blustery day, so I would expect that. Great visibility out of the mirrors. I'd say about between 95 and 98%. Well, that's very specific, but I can see everything I need to see out of those mirrors. So I'm pretty pleased with that. As I say, I do have a crosswind, I can feel it, but it's not really affecting me. I'm not being blown around. I feel quite secure on the road. I'm not leaning into the wind very much. Leaning into it a tiny bit, but not a lot. You've got a USB on here as well, but like all USBs, can't use it in the wet really. But it's quite shielded. So coming up to a dual carriageway now. Brakes seem pretty decent, you know. Front brake, it does dive a little bit, but you are on an adventure bike. Rear brake does what a rear brake does. What I mean by that is it slows you down, but it doesn't slam you on. So decent acceleration. My fault, missed the gear. I mean, yeah. Gets to 70 okay, sits there fine. Haven't got much of a problem with that. It does feel very planted, nice and secure in its position. It is very blustery. Around my helmet I can feel a lot of wind. happy to report is I'm not getting any buzzing, no buzzing from the seat, no real buzzing from the foot pegs, a tiny bit, I'd say a tiny bit of buzzing, and that may be helped by the fact that I've got adventure boots on, so they are thicker soles. I'd probably be able to feel it more if I was in my street boots, but I've got no buzzing and no feedback from the handlebars. I think a lot of it is a matter of being in the right gear. Like for example, I'm doing 50 miles an hour here in 5th gear, and I'm doing just over 3,000 RPM, so 3,250 let's say. I'm going to slow down to about 45, 40 even, and then I'm going to open it up in 5th gear. Let's see what it does. Oh, that is awful. Yeah, you do not want to be in 5th and pull away. It chugs like hell. So let's say in 4th gear at 40 miles an hour. Still a little bit chuggy. I would probably even want to go into 3rd. Just try that, 3rd at 40. Yeah, I mean that's fine there, absolutely fine. So 40 mile an hour, you want to pull away in 3rd gear. You don't want to do it in 4th, and you certainly don't want to do it in 5th. I mean, that is that big thumpy single cylinder there. You can't ride it like a parallel twin, which a lot of these 650s and the ilk are these days, parallel twins. You certainly, or even a 3-cylinder, no, not 3-cylinder, that'll be the 800 or the 700 probably, not a 650. Parallel twins are what you find these days. Not a single. I mean, you've got plenty of torque there from this single, I will say that. And as I say, getting used to it in the right gear is essential, because if you pull away, as I say, at 40 mile an hour in 5th, you might break some bones. So I am doing 50 in 5th, and I'm coming up to a 70 mile an hour zone, so I'm going to pull away in 5th up to 70 and see what it does. I mean, it's not that bad actually. It's not that bad. If you're on it getting up into the higher speeds, it's fine. So I say, it's just about being in the right gear for the right speed. It's just about getting to know your bike really. And I am pleased at how it corners. I'm pleased at how it handled itself. At the moment I've got a tiny bit of buzz at 70 on my posterior. I don't know if that's going to turn into a numb fizziness, and whether I'll enjoy it or not. We'll find out when I get off and whether the fizziness keeps going. I do want to say that I bumped into a previous customer at Superbike Warehouse who was wearing my lightning storm gloves and his waterproof jacket, but had also got a lightning storm jacket, which was nice to see. I haven't really pushed that so much because it's winter time and I'm gathering stock, so I shall be pushing that next season. But he did say to me, oh, I want to buy one of your pouches. Okay, so acceleration, 2nd gear from that roundabout, not bad. Yeah, that's okay. For a 650, that's alright. That can hold its own quite well. One thing you do notice, being a cylinder, is the amount of engine braking. So if I'm doing 70 mile an hour and I let go of the throttle, that slows down quite quickly. So it's got quite a lot of engine braking. So I'm going to be taking this, doing some roundabouts, and some dual carriageway, and some single tracks, and just have a nice jaunt and see how it fares by the end of the journey. So far, it's not bad at all. I will pull over in a minute and we'll go through a few more of the specs and have a good look around the bike. See, it corners quite well. Doesn't feel heavy in the corners either. Feels quite light and quite manoeuvrable, which is good. So just taking a few of these roundabouts. See, third gear, that does not want to be in third gear on that roundabout, it wants to be in second. But it's okay. See, 15 mile an hour in second gear. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of my Honda Firestorm, where you've got to really have the revs quite high in slow corners. So it is a similar style of riding, I would say, to a V-twin, just with not the same sort of weight. Right, dual carriageway, let's see. Yeah, I mean, as I say, does it decently enough for 650. And as I say, one thing I am very pleased with is just how well planted it is. It rides really well. Despite the wind I'm getting and the buffeting, all I'm going to do is duck down a second behind this screen. Makes no real difference. Is it harder to ride? Much more manoeuvrable from this height. Yeah, I feel quite safe and quite secure on this bike, to be fair. That screen is annoying, the fact that as soon as the sun hits it you can't see a thing. I do find that rather annoying. I do like the pickup. It's not bad, actually. I do feel that I need a sixth there. But that's just because I'm used to six gears. Six gears, really. Not necessarily that the bike needed it. It does kind of beg the question. If a bike like this can work quite well on 5 gears, why do they keep sticking 6 gears on 125s? Because you're changing gear really often. I know why they're doing it. It's because it makes the bike really lean, and you get 100-ish miles to the gallon out of them. But it just means you're changing gear really quickly. Oh, you're going to be slow, are you? Okay. When you accelerate as well, you really feel the front end come up. It's actually quite an enjoyable experience. I didn't think it was going to be as good as this. I thought it was going to be awful. A cheap bike, trying hard but getting nowhere. But I'm pleasantly surprised, to be honest. I'm going to pull over in a minute, have a look around the bike, talk about some positives and some negatives. Takes the runabout quite well. Oh, brilliant. Excellent. Didn't even look. Didn't even look, you stupid cow. So let's talk about some of the other specs. Well, brake wise, you've got 2 discs at the front, one either side, funnily enough. 295 millimeters and Nissan 2-piston calipers up there, a 250 millimeter disc on the back with a single piston Nissan caliper. Suspension wise, you've got non-adjustable 41 millimeter upside down forks on the front by KYB and a monoshock on the back by KYB also. Looks wise, I think it's lovely. I do like the design. They've really nailed it, to be honest, as far as the design's concerned. I like the sculpturing of the seat. It's very comfortable. As I say, I get a tiny bit of buzz, tiny bit, at 70 miles an hour, but it is a thumpy engine, so to be expected really. But other than that, it's actually pretty good. I was quite pleased with the comfortability of it. Later on, I'll take Patrick out and we'll see how he feels on the back. And we all know Patrick likes to say what he feels, so it'll be a true review on there. Not that mine aren't, but I mean, he just doesn't mince his words, does he? He's just out with it. Anyway, as I say, tiny bit of buzz from the handlebars and a tiny bit from the foot pegs, only at the 70 miles an hour. But I think, bear in mind, I am wearing sort of adventure-y style boots, so the heels and the soles are a bit thicker. Wheel wise, you've got a 19-inch wheel on the front and a 17-inch wheel on the back. Metzler tyres, Metzler Trance, are they? Or Endurance, sorry. Endurance. Oh no, Torrance. Why? So there's me thinking, I saw the T and I saw the unts and thought Trance. And I thought, no, it can't be that. It must be Endurance. No, it's a Torrance. A Metzler Torrance. Excellent. You've got a 150 on the back and a 110 on the front, which is quite normal for a bike of this size, to be honest. I like the fact you get the bars on it, the crash bars on the side. I don't like the fact that they're silver. I think they'd be better if they were black. Look a bit chintzy in the silver. And the handlebars, again, better if they were black, I think. This is just sort of personal taste, really. I like the fact that at the moment you get the 3 boxes on it. It's a shame they didn't send this with the 3 boxes, because I'd like to have seen how it felt with the 3 boxes on, and I would have loaded them up as well to see how it fared with that. But, you know, it still comes with them. And they're not cheap boxes either. They're nice, proper alloy style boxes. Alloy style, you know what I mean. The alloy boxes with the right sort of shape on them. Nice, anyway. But you do get a rack anyway, which is quite nice. I like that. You will notice, the astute amongst you, that I'm standing on the right hand side of the bike, but the exhaust is on the left and the chain is on the right. I wonder where they got that from. And it is completely stainless. They haven't cheaped out with the mild steel exhaust, so well done Voge for that. Anyway, other than that, I'm really quite pleased with it. Better than I thought I would be. Let me put it that way. You do get a centre stand, which is quite nice. The gear change is actually pretty good, especially now I've adjusted it to match my foot. But yeah, switch gears, as I say, quite generic. They're all right. They work. You know, they're nothing fancy, but they work. Mirrors, really pleased with them. Great visibility out of the mirrors. I will adjust this later. And it's at its highest point at the moment, and it does seem to stop the buffeting quite nicely at 70. I will adjust it down and see what difference that makes later on. I like that you get the nice LED indicators. As I say, everything seems pretty sturdy. Nothing seems cheap. Nothing sort of squeaks and rattles, and everything is, the plastic doesn't sort of move around. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. As I say, everything is bolted together quite well. They've done a decent job. I am quite impressed with it.
Overall, the dimensions are just over 2.1 metres long, 850 millimetres wide, and 1.4 metres tall. Now the seat height states either 850 or 805. You decide for yourself. Now I am 5'10.5" with a 31.5-inch inside leg, and this is me seated on it. I'm on tiptoes. I just touched the floor on tiptoes, which is okay. It's not that heavy to hold up, to be honest. It feels fine to hold up. So I've got no real issues on that front. So you get a decent sized fuel tank at 18 litres. The handlebars feel nicely distanced, and when my feet are on the pegs, my knees are quite nicely nestled into the tank dimple, so that's quite good. Anyway, let's go and do some more riding, shall we? Right, so it's at this stage I'm going to hand over to Patrick.
So it feels pretty good. It's comfortable, but when you go about 65 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour, it starts to buzz my bum and feet a bit.
Okay, no, fair enough, yeah. I mean, I still get a little bit of buzzing as well, which I said earlier, but that's fair enough. Okay, so what about the looks? What do you think of that?
Well, I think it looks pretty good. I like the turquoise blue because it's like really shiny. I also like the graphics on it. I like the exhaust a bit because it's pretty big and squarish. I like normal ones like circle, like curved, but this one, it's flat. I like the screen, and I like the screen that you see the miles per hour and those kind of things. I also like the stickers of DS that's like slanted and pushed into it so you can't see it fully. And I also can see that I like the back bit where there's like some words at the back.
Right, okay, so when you talk about the screen, you mean you like obviously the way the numbers are laid out, and the way the graphics are laid on the bike. Yeah, fair enough. I agree. It's a pretty looking bike. It's very nice design. Yeah, there's not really much to say about it. It's well thought out and it's well proportioned. I think for me, even though you're comfortable back there, I'm a little bit close to the tank initially when I get on the bike. I did say that earlier, but you soon get used to it, and it is quite comfortable. Okay, so Patrick, tell everyone about the price and what it's up against.
Oh yes, I will indeed talk about it. So the price is £6,299 plus on the road costs with a 2-year parts and labour warranty. What rivals does it have? Well, the CF Moto 650 MT is £1,000 less, but 60 brake horsepower, so not A2 compatible. The Moto Morini X-Cape is a superb bike, also 60 brake horsepower, but £1,000 more than this. Suzuki v-strom 650 is £1,700 more. Honda CBX 500X, which is the same power as this, is £400 more. Yamaha Tracer is £2,500 more, and none of these come with the boxes like this does. So when you look at what you get for the money, it is really good value.
Yes, indeed it is, and I agree with you completely. It is very good value. As a quick sum up, I love the design. I like the way it feels. It is old school, having the 650 single cylinder, and I will say with that you get an engine that sounds, let's say, industrial. If you're not in the right gear, for example, if I'm turning into a road, even in second gear, turning it into or out of a junction feels like it's the wrong gear. You feel like you should be in first. It does feel like my old Firestorm V-twin, that the revs need to be a bit higher all the time. I guess that's just getting used to the bike and knowing what gear you need to be in and what revs you need to be doing at what speed. Other than that, it's comfortable. I don't like the screen, I will say that. In the sun you cannot see anything. At night time, or when it gets dusk, it does change to the night view, so you've got a black screen with the shiny through numbers. I don't know if you can change that. If you can, that might be better in the sun, I don't know. I did say I was going to change the screen, and I did put the screen down, but it didn't really make any difference at all. There's not a lot of difference between the screen down and the screen up, so if it was mine, I'd just leave the screen up. because it really does deflect the buffeting quite well. The wind is deflected quite nicely, and I didn't really have much of a problem with the wind. Crosswinds didn't really bother me. It's quite well planted, and overall, as I say, it rides nicely. It's unusual. It's got 5-speed gearbox. You would expect 6, but they have done the gearing quite well, so it does kind of work. However, with that, if there were 6 gears, it would probably eradicate the issue with feeling as though you're in the wrong gear at the wrong revs and the wrong speed. But again, it's following that old BMW technology, so I think it's just a matter of getting used to the bike whilst you're riding it. And that's pretty much all I've got to say on it. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching.
We'll be back next time with more. So until next time, please ride and drive carefully.
But have fun.